Hello everybody. We're gonna do some solo Iron Man today. And we're gonna see what I can make happen. So let me know what kind of questions you have and we'll go from there. Yeah, just let me finish getting set up. So I'm going to be playing an Iron Man or a Tony Stark aggression deck. We're going to start with the Rhino. I'm not playing the base difficulty. I have the Masters of Evil shuffled in along with the expert cards. So we're going to see what happens. I haven't tried the game solo yet, so I wanted to see how it shakes out. Let me know if everything's coming through. I'm at 1080p today, and I tried to improve the lighting pretty significantly, so it should be less blurry. Let me know if you have any hard time seeing the cards or if it's pixelating out at all, okay? And just give me 1 second. I'm actually going to increase the light level even more. I'm just shuffling up here. I've also got tons of room to play, which is nice. So actually, we'll do this in like a nice big line to give me maximum room here. But yeah, I'm excited. I grinded about 4 more games of this yesterday with a bunch of different identities. So I'm really excited. Let me know if the quality is improved. From when I streamed on Saturday. So that should just about do it. Let me just adjust the lights a little bit more. We'll be good to go. All right, that should be good. Yep, we're starting with Rhino level 1, and we have the Masters of Evil and the expert cards put in. Okay. So let's look at our opening hand here. We can kind of talk through it since it's just me playing today. So this is our opening hand. We don't have a lot of upgrades, which is what we need. We have a bunch of cards that we're going to need later. So I think we take everything but the Helicarrier and get rid of it. Because what we need in Tony Stark mode, right, is we need to set up and build Iron Man. So actually I'll do it like a runner setup. Because I'll put the upgrades back here. Yeah, I'll do like a cool Netrunner setup. So all of that goes in the discard. We're going to draw 5 new cards. I did clear for everything just so that I could sleeve as I go and not ever have to worry about sleeves not matching later. But I usually do matte back sleeves for most games, so. Alright, so we've got the Helicarrier now. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use Tony Stark's ability of Futurist. We're going to look at the top 3 cards. So we get the Rocket Boots, which is what we need. The other 2, Power of Aggression, and Relentless Assault are going to go into the bin. Then what I'm going to do from here, I want to get the Helicarrier down because it's not ever going to get easier to play it. So let's go ahead and play the Helicarrier by discarding Nick Fury, Haymaker, and Repulsor Blast, because we're going to cycle through the deck here pretty rapidly. Oh, right, it's not 3 for 3. Let me double check. Okay. So then I'm going to get the helmet down with the Helicarrier. And then I'm going to get the rocket boots down by discarding Stark Tower. Dan, I really like it. It's incredibly fast, and one of the biggest things with this game, as opposed to other LCGs that FFG has put out, is as you're about to see, you're incentivized to use all of your cards every turn rather than holding them for a combo, which feels very super heroic, because it's about making the best in like a back and forth fight instead of, well, I gotta hold this card until it would do the most damage. You stop accelerating if you stop playing cards. So it's got this very nice mechanic that incentivizes you really utilizing your cards as much as possible. Let me know if things are pixelating at all. I made a bunch of adjustments, but I'm trying to find the optimal setup for this camera. So we're still in hero mode, so at the end everything would ready, or we're still in alter ego mode. So we draw up to our maximum hand size, which is 6. So now this is our hand, just so everybody can see it. We have Attack Team, the Mark V armor, which is very good. Relentless Assault and 2 Chase Them Downs, which is going to be very good later. And then now we go to the hero phase. So the villain gets, or Rhino gets, 1 threat per hero. So in this case, he gets 1 on the main scheme. And then, because I am in alter ego mode, he schemes. So I take 1 card off of the top of the villain deck and add the number here onto his scheme value. In this case, that is 0. So he's just going to scheme for 1 and add 1 additional threat. Now, if this gets to 7, I lose. So I'm going to have to manage this. Dan, you're my stream buddy, so let me know how it looks compared to like when I'm doing Netrunner streaming, because I'm in my basement, which has very little natural light, so I basically have every single light source I have pointed at this playmat. And now after he would scheme or attack me, I get an encounter card that I have to deal with. So now this Hydra Mercenary is in play with me. And the Hydra Mercenary has a 0 scheme and a 1 attack and 3 hit points and guard. So while he's engaged with me, I can't attack Rhino, but he doesn't contribute any scheme value, which is nice. Alright, so now we're back to my hero turn. So I'd really like... oh, right, and this would have re-readied. I'd really like to have more stuff, but we can't have everything. Okay, so for now, do I have any muscles? No, I don't have any fist cards right now. Balder, stop. So let's do Futurist, which is Tony Stark's ability. So I can look for any card that I want, add it to my hand. So I'll take the fist card because that's the one I want. War Machine and Avengers Mansion going into the bin. So now Mockingbird's in my hand. So let's put down the Mark V armor, which is going to cost me 3 cards. So I'm going to get rid of... well, actually, I'll Reduce its cost by 2, so I only have to get rid of 2 cards. So I'm going to get rid of the TAC team and Emergency to put down the Mark V armor. Balder, stop. Stop. Alright, so now I have 3 pieces. Putting on the Mark V armor, oh, and also the rocket boots would have given me more hit points. So now my hit point total is increased by 7, which means it's 16. So I'm tracking that at the bottom there to make it a little easier, rather than all of you having to keep an eye on the slider. So now, I took this action, but that doesn't tap me, so I'm going to flip to being Iron Man. So on Iron Man size, my max hand size is 1 plus each tech card that I have. So it's 4, which still isn't great, but I do need to handle some stuff. So I'm going to play Chase Them Down in Mockingbird to play Relentless Assault on the Mercenary, which does 5 damage. If I spent a Fist, which I did, any additional bone damage above what I need to kill him goes on to the villain. So that means Rhino loses 2 hit points and goes down to 12. Yes, I'm talking to my cat Balder, who is trying to force his way into my lap. And then now I'm going to play Chase Them Down. After your hero attacks and defeats an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So I'm going to remove 2 threat from the main scheme. And then in addition to that, I'm going to attack Rhino for 1 additional hit point. So Rhino goes down to 11 hit points. And then that's the end of my hero phase. At the end of the hero phase, everything readies. I draw back up to my hand size, which in this case is 4. And I get a Relentless Assault, a Tactical Team, a Genius, and another pair of Rocket Boots. Rocket Boots are not unique, unlike the Mark V helmet and the Mark V armor, which have the little unique star, so I can put both pairs of Rocket Boots on. It's 1 for each foot, I guess. You also have 1 of each of the repulsor hands. Hey, Varega, welcome back. And welcome back, Jim, also. Alright. So now, we're on to the villain phase. The villain's going to scheme 1 per every hero. Which I needed to, yep. And then, I'm in hero phase now, though. So that means that he's going to actually attack me. So it's going to be this value of 2 plus whatever's on this card. So there's a little pip here. Let me show that. There's a little red pip. And that pip is how many additional damage I'm going to take. So I, as Iron Man, am going to take 3 damage and go down to 13. I could choose to defend it, but then I can't do cool stuff on my turn. So I'll just eat the damage. Come on. There we go. Alright. So that was the attack phase, and then now I get my actual threat card. Exhaustion Surge. So I'm going to be exhausted anyway because of this card. So I could have defended and reduced the damage there. And it gains Surge, so I get another one. So he gets Charge, which buffs up his damage. So the next time he attacks, he does plus 3 damage. And it gains Overkill, so if I try to block it with a minion, it still goes through to me. So that's less than exciting. Oh yeah, I forgot to adjust the dial. There we go. 11 health. Alright. So now it's back to my turn. While we're in hero phase, do I have any fists? I don't. I don't have any minions to kill. So here I'm probably going to use the Helicarrier to put another set of rocket boots down. So now I have 2 pairs of rocket boots, which increases my health by a total of by another 1. And that means that my total health now is 9 plus 8, 17. So that's the maximum that I can get to. So now the helicarrier is done, which is basically reduce the cost of one thing that you put into play. So worth getting the attack team down. I think I'm going to let him scheme this round just because I can't really take that damage and I'm tapped anyway. So I think I'm going to play my Genius and this Relentless Assault to put the attack team into play, which will start making more space. So the attack team gets 3 counters on it, and I can use these to do 2 damage to something. So I'm going to attack with the attack team on Rhino. So Rhino will take 2 damage and go down to 9. And then I'm also going to flip onto Tony Stark and take the Futurist action. So I get the Arc Reactor. And then that's my hand, and that's my whole turn. Actually, before I flipped, I guess I could have used this to thwart for 1, which I'll try to make sure that I do my triggers in the correct order going forward. All right. So then at the end of the hero phase, everything readies, including my hero. And my hand size is back to 6. I have 1 card in hand, so I draw 5 more. So now my current hand, and we're almost completely through my deck already. My current hand is now the Power of Aggression, which is a wild that gets to do 2 resources if it's for an aggression card. My Gauntlets, another Chase Them Down, another Tactical Team, Pepper, and the Arc Reactor. The Arc Reactor lets me take 2 actions with Iron Man every turn, so it's pretty strong. I pitched the Stark Tower early to get more upgrades down. Alright, so now we're on the hero phase. He's going to add 1 to there. He's not going to attack me because I'm Tony Stark, but he is going to scheme. So it's 1 pip on here, plus the base scheme value of 1. So it's 2 additional, so I'll swap out the 1 for the 3. Let me adjust the threat. Got to be better about keeping on top of that. And now my encounter card is a Hydra Bomber, which engages me. When revealed, choose to either take 1 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. So I'm doing pretty okay on that. So I think I will take 1 damage and go down to 13 health when the Hydra Bomber comes into play. Okay. So now it's back to me. So first things first, let's do Futurist. Balder, please stop clawing me. You can't get into my lap right now. I love you, man. And I get another Gauntlet, which is what I want. So I can have all my crazy crap going on. Gosh, I have a lot of stuff that I want to play, though. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and use the Helicarrier to reduce the cost of the first powered gauntlet that I'm going to put down. So I'll put the Helicarrier up here since it's something that we kind of know a lot more about now. Put the dial over here. I'm just trying to make it so everything is as visible as possible. So then I need to discard 1 card, so I am going to get rid of Pepper, who I can't afford right now anyway, to put down a set of powered gauntlets with the price reduced by 1 for the Helicarrier. I want to get the Arc Reactor out, so that's going to be 2 more cards. So we'll do a... gosh, this stinks, but we'll do a Tac Team and a Power of Aggression to get the Arc Reactor down. Because I really want these. All right. So... let's go ahead and am I ready to flip? I think I am. Okay, so we're gonna flip to being Iron Man. I'm going to use the powered gauntlets to deal 1 damage to the Hydra Bomber. And then I'm going to use Tony himself to do 1 damage to the Hydra Bomber, which kills it. Which then lets me play Chase Them Down. So if I just defeated with my hero, I get to remove 2 threat from a scheme. So I'm going to remove 2 threat from the main scheme. I'm going to use the arc reactor to re-ready Tony. I'm going to use this to remove 1 threat from the main scheme because that's what the Mark V helmet does. I'm going to then attack with Tony and the tactical team on the main villain, doing 3 additional damage, bringing him down to 6. That was a pretty good turn, I'd say. All right, so now my total hand size is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I have a hand size of 7. Okay. This is exciting. All right, so now we're going to hit the end of the hero phase. Everything is going to re-ready. And I'm going to draw 7 cards. So I'm at 3 of 7 after drawing these 2. And now I have to shuffle my deck and then draw 4 more, which means that I'm going to get an additional threat card, which is going to come up during the actual threat card phase. So I'll just go ahead and put that there. But yeah, Tony really suits my kind of big rig play style, like what you would see with like a Shaper in Netrunner. But yeah, I'm really excited and I'm really enjoying this game a tremendous amount. So it's been a lot of fun. So now we're gonna shuffle it up. I get 4 more because now I'm super decked out Tony. And currently my hand is another Gauntlet, which I saved, a Repulsor Blast, Haymaker, Chase Them Down, Haymaker, Nick Fury, and Tigra. So now I really do have some oomph power. So now we're going to go into the villain phase. The villain is going to add 1 onto the main scheme at the beginning. And then since I'm in hero form, Rhino is going to attack me. This is a star. So exhaust each ally you control, which is the star effect for this attack. It doesn't do anything because I don't have any allies in play currently. But it will do 2 damage to me. So Tony is going to go down to 11 health. Which is probably fine. And then now we're going to go to the villain phase. So I already have this one. And let me reveal it. So Tiger Shark just comes into play with me. And then here's my other threat card. So that's when revealed the villain schemes. So we draw another card to boost. So the scheme is 2. So now the main scheme is at 3 out of 7. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Knuckle guy. Lori, thank you very much for the 12-month subscription. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's enough variation in the villain deck, and right now I'm playing Rhino, which is kind of like the learner guy, even though I put some of the more expert cards in. But he still has... oh, no, I'm sorry. He was going to do more damage to me. Forced interrupt. Yeah, so this is... So that's the first time he attacked since that charge went on. I actually have 3 less life. So I actually have 8 life. So things are getting spoopy. Alright. So now we're big hand. So Tiger Shark is going to give Rhino a tough card, which soaks the first instance of damage. So we can't really have that. Let me see how big of a turn I can have here. Do I have the ability to give myself aerial? I do. Okay. So I think first things first, we're going to use the Helicarrier to make the powered gauntlets. My second set of powered gauntlets cost 1 less. And then I'm going to get rid of Tigra for it. So now that's down. This can only happen once, so I'm going to get rid of Nick Fury to exhaust my rocket boots to give myself aerial, which makes these do 2 damage instead of 1. So now I am going to... Ooh, this is going to be tough. So I want to do... Okay, so let's do the Repulsor Blast first on Tiger Shark and see what happens. That's going to cost me 1. So I need to discard a Haymaker to make that happen. So the way Repulsor Blast works is I deal 1 damage to an to the villain or to the character. And I have to discard the top 5 cards, and for each lightning symbol, I do more damage. So I deal 3 damage total, not the best, to Tiger Shark. And then I'm going to use both of these to kill Tiger Shark. When I kill Tiger Shark, I'm going to play Chase Them Down to take 2 threat off of the main scheme. And then I'm going to thwart the main scheme again with the Mark 5 helmet. And then I'm going to attack Rhino with the attack team, doing 2 more damage, bringing him down to 4. And then I'm also going to attack, re-ready, and attack for 2 more damage on Rhino, bringing him down to 2. Yeah. Pretty exciting. Okay, so I'm still in hero mode. I could flip back. Actually, I guess what I could have done is I could have attacked once, re-readied, flipped, and then recovered for 3 to go back to 11. And now the threat level is 0. And the health is 3. Alright. But yeah. Alright. So now I'm back on Tony Stark. So my hand size is 6. Everything readies. Including Tony himself. So I'm going to draw 5 more cards. I draw an Avengers Mansion and Chase Them Down, Emergency, Strength, and War Machine. Rhodey coming back through. The villain puts 1 on the main scheme, and then schemes against me. Woo! Oh, good one. 3 scheme. And then I get my encounter card, which is a side scheme. So now, the side scheme ground control is in play with 2 on it. So that means that I can't take threat off of the main scheme until I deal with this scheme, and it gets 2 per player. So that's my turn. Now I can still attack him and stuff, but I can't. So I need to do some scheme reduction potentially here. All right. So now it's back to me. Let's go ahead. And before we flip, let's play Futurist. See if there's something very cool. So I'm going to get rid of... See, look at all these lightnings now. I'm going to get rid of 2 attack teams, so I get Supersonic Punch, which is my big damage dealer. I'm going to switch over to being Iron Man. I'm going to thwart for 2 on crowd control. Actually, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to make myself aerial with a science. So now I can remove, with the Mark V helmet, 1 from this and 1 from this, because I'm aerial. I'm going to thwart for 2 here. I'm going to use the arc reactor to re-ready. Actually, I could have saved one of those cards because I have my helicarrier, or I'll just use it for something else. I'm going to re-ready Iron Man with the helicarrier. This goes back into the discard pile to be seen again. I'm going to do 1 damage with Tony. And then I'm going to do 2 damage since I have the aerial trait to bring Rhino version 1 down to 0. So now we'll just put this face down underneath. And now he has 1 scheme, 3 attack, and when revealed, I search the encounter deck and discard pile for break-in and take inside scheme. So let's see if it's in here. I don't think I saw it on the discard. Yep. So that means I got to go through the deck and find it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So break-in and take inside scheme, shuffled up, which means extra encounter cards. It gets a total of 3 on it because it gets 2 plus 1 per player in the game. Let me know if people have any questions, or feel free to backseat game and tell me how I'm not optimally using my turns. I'm here for it. Alright, so I shuffled the encounter deck back up. We're on Rhino version 2. Rhino version 2 has 15 hit points per character in the game. So that means 15 hit points. Okay, what do I want to do now? I do need to do some thwarting at some point, but in the meantime, we're just going to try to do some damage. So I already have the aerial trait, so I'm going to use the helicarrier to reduce the cost of Supersonic Punch by 1. And then using that, I'm going to get rid of Haymaker to do 8 damage directly to... Oh, I never gave him health back. So he was at 15, now he's at 7. now the main scheme is at 3 threat. All right, so this could get out of hand, but I don't know if there's a ton that I can do about it. So I did a bunch of damage that way. I still have 2 more damage that I can do here. I don't think I can quite get there. Because I can get Rhodey down. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to get Rhodey down. So this has 2 pips on it, plus 2 more. So I can get War Machine down. I'm going to have him attack immediately. So he takes an incidental damage. And he does 2 damage to somebody of my choice. So in this case, it's going to be Rhino. And then I'm also going to use my second set of powered gauntlets to do 2 damage to him. So he's at 3 hit points now. And he's just going to wail on me, which is probably fine. Yep, so that's my whole turn. I'm currently at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have a max hand size of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I have Supersonic Punch, Power of Aggression, Pepper Potts, Repulsive Blast. So basically, as long as I survive to the next turn, I should be good to go. So now, everything on my side readies. And the main scheme gets 1 per player. I'm on my hero side, so he's going to attack me. So here's the boost card. So this would be my obligation, but it's just being revealed for its boost power. So he has 3 attack, plus 3, or plus 2, which is 5. So I can kill him without having to actually be untapped. So I'm going to play it safe and defend myself for 1. So I'm only going to take 4 damage and go down to 7. Because I'm going to draw 2 villain cards. So there's a chance that things could get a little crazy. So I need to be careful about that. So now, I guess I could have thrown Rhodey in front of it. But we'll see what else comes out. So here's my first one. So Shocker, when revealed, deal 1 damage to each hero. So I take a damage here. And then because this is in play, I get an additional card. Assault. The villain attacks you. So now we're going to draw another attack card. And I'm going to have Rhodey eat the 3 damage. And defend for me. Which means that they don't untap during my play phase. Alright, so now it's my turn, and basically, or just immediately, I will play... Let's see if I can kill him with Repulsor Blast. So, there's 3, 5, 7... 7 damage. He has 3 remaining, so that is victory. So, yeah, I got the win here with Aggression versus Rhino. It's pretty good. Tony is really, really interesting and really, really strong, I feel. Once he's set up, like, this is not a good representation of how most of the heroes in the game work because Tony has this thing where I got set up by like turn 2, but usually it takes like 3 or 4 turns for him to set up. But then once he's set up, he can just manage threats so much better than anybody else because he has all of these actions printed on cards that enable him to really control the board. Most of the other characters are like bursty and really effective and have power turns, but then their stuff kind of leaves play and then comes back. Whereas Tony is, I have all these decent actions printed on cards that just stay in play forever. I think Tony, because of that ability, is probably one of the best solo characters because since you can play Justice, you can take those 2 turns or so to set up. To see how it plays, and then, and let the threat kind of build up, and then you have the tools and events to be able to mitigate that, and then you flip the switch and you control the board. I think that makes him a very strong, as Justice or aggro, I think that makes him a very strong character. Obviously, also, Rhino doesn't vomit out a bunch of threats onto the table like some of the other villains. So if I had like more minions that were coming up, that could have potentially been much harder for me. So when I played him yesterday, I played him as Justice because I was teamed up with Thomas from the Netrunner community, who was playing Spider-Man. So I kind of let him do some of the damage and just waited for my events to come around to do burst damage with Iron Man, and I was kind of like controlling minions and keeping them off of him while he was tanking with defense because he was playing Armored Vest Spider-Man where you get the defense of 4, and he's just blocking the main attacks that would be going on to Iron Man. So that was a really neat strategy, and I think the Justice is really well suited for him playing together. But this Iron Man aggression is really good because I just have all these burst damage cards, then I have all of his actual Iron Man upgrades to manage table threats. I think this game is very soloable. I mean, that was pretty good. I mean, I had to do some setup plus some additional setup because I was had to set up the whole stream. How clear are the cards? Right, and how grainy is the video? Give me your honest opinions because I'm... Are you for real? Balder, I love you, man. Come here. Can you get off of that? Thanks. You doing all right? Is it because I'm not paying attention to you? Is that what this is? Yeah, you're going to come across the board, yeah. Cool. Balder, you are the worst. Here, listen to this. I'm going to put you down. Yeah, I mean the actual ability quality. Like, how grainy is the video, Knuckle guy? Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much par for the course for Netrunner. But I mean, like, the actual visual quality. Saturday, when I was streaming, I had, like, this graininess coming through because the room wasn't lit up well enough, I think. But the actual video quality isn't, like, pixely. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this back, and I'm going to do... Rhino, but I'm going to get rid of his version 1 and do like the super advanced mode where he starts on version 2, and we're going to see if we can handle it. So he's going to start with 15 hit points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, 0 threat. Gotta shuffle everything back through. When this is revealed, put the break-in and tank-in. So he starts with this in play. So this is going to have 3 on it to start. I'm going to go back to having my starting health of 9. Got to shuffle all the encounter stuff back in, and we'll run it back again. I did. We just didn't see them. You know, one thing that's really interesting about playing solo is you just, like, don't get through as much of the villain deck, right? Whereas even with 2 people, we were getting entirely through the villain deck at least once. So that's something that can add, I guess, solo play would be significantly more variable because you're not getting through the whole deck. So you can have a little bit more of, like, solo replayability because you're not going to see all the cards. You're going to have a dramatically different experience. Whereas with Thomas and I, with him playing defense and me playing justice, since we are slower, more control-y, we saw all of the cards out of this claw, and I haven't done Ultron yet. So next stream I do will probably be either me solo or me and somebody else playing against Ultron. But yeah, very exciting. I don't know. I'm really having a blast with this game. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. This is also like a nice trial run for my new setup for Nats because I got a new camcorder, new tripod. I have a new set of floodlights, and a new key light. So this is a great opportunity for me to kind of put it together. All right, so there's the villain deck. It's in the show notes on YouTube, but let me also put it into the chat. I need to build a exclamation point deck button for this Stream Deck setup. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do in the short run. If more people come in. Come on, computer. Where's hotkey? All right, so we're going to do a hotkey button. And we're going to call this Decklist. And we'll make it into a multi-action. And we're going to do, it'll be, oh no, that won't work. I'll just have to fix it later. It's fine. All right. Yeah, it does, Jared. It definitely feels like a really streamlined, like accessible solo experience, which is pretty rare in LCGs. Like, I've played Arkham a couple times solo, and it's just a bit of a slog. There's a ton of, it's a great game, but there's a ton of bookkeeping that gets a bit more tedious if you don't have somebody there helping you with it, and you just like lose sometimes. And one of the most interesting things about Arkham is when you pull off like miraculous victories, when those victories are shared, it's super duper exciting. And like, obviously, you know what you did when you play solo, but for some reason when I tried to play Arkham solo, it felt a lot less rewarding, because when I would pull off these really big plays, like, there's no, I'm not sharing that memory with anybody. You know what I mean? All right, so we're back on Tony's side. Once upon a time, Tony Stark was just walking through the desert. All right. So game 2, we've upgraded Rhino, and we're going to see how we do trying to manage all of these threats as Tony Stark with his very cool sunglasses. So I'll put the deck up here just so it takes up a little less space. I'll put it like right here, and then I'll put my discard below it because I want to make sure that everything's visible as much as it can be to all of you. So I have a starting hand of 6. We're looking for my tech stuff. So I have a repulsor boots. Basically, that's going to stay. Everything else is going to go for now. Because we just want to start with as many of our tech cards as we can. So we're going to draw 5 cards to get back up to 6. And we're going to give it a start. All right. So I guess I'll put Tony over here where he's most visible. Hey, Plaidman, welcome. All right. So, hero phase. Let's look at our hand. So we have 2 Avengers Mansions, a Mockingbird attack team, and some Rocket Boots. Now, the Rocket Boots, we can put more than one of them down. Avengers Mansion is really great to get down early, but it is also really expensive. So I think we will try to get it down, though. So I'm going to get rid of 4 cards. Actually, no. I should Futurist first. So... Ooh, this is a tough call. Do I take the Strength or do I take the Stark Tower? I think I want to set up. People might disagree, but I think I want the resource card so I can more easily clear my hand. So I'm going to play Strength and 2 other cards to get a total of 4 to get Avengers Mansion into play, which I'll immediately use to draw a card. And then I'm going to get rid of a Tack Team and a Supersonic Punch to put down 2 Rocket Boots, which will increase my hit points to 11. And then I'm not going to switch sides yet. So I'm going to draw back up. This re-readies. I'm going to draw back up to 6 cards. So current hand is a Genius. Chase Them Down, which helps me remove threat. A Helicarrier, which is the reduced cost card. Haymaker, which is a damage card. Powered Gauntlets, and another Tack Team. So one of the interesting things... about this game, and I don't know how many of the people watching are familiar with other board games, but this game uses a resource mechanic similar to Race for the Galaxy, where the cost of any card is other cards out of your hand that have matching or the correct symbols. So what that means is the cost ultimately to do anything in this game is not being able to do something else, which is a really cool way to build forks into the game and make it so that the more familiar you are with the game, the more interesting and informed your decision-making processes can be. All right, so now we're on to the villain phase. We're going to place 1 threat onto the main scheme. And then, since I am in villain or alter ego form, he's going to scheme for a total of 2. So the main scheme goes up to 3 threat. We'll put this way so it's clear that that's the discard. And now I do my encounter cards. I get 1 organically, so this one comes into play. The Hydra Mercenary is now engaged with me. And then I get another one because of Break-In and Take-In. So now ground control is in play. And this is the one that has 2 on it, 2 threat on it. And I can't deal with the main scheme until I deal with this one. So that's interesting. We're gonna see how it goes for me. All right. So let's bookkeep this. We'll get the tuft confused and everything over here. Out of sight, out of mind, since you guys don't, everybody that watching doesn't need to be able to see that. And then we'll make a little bit more space so things are a little less crowded. All right. And this is a discard, so we'll put it like that. All right. So let's take a look at our hands and think about what we're going to do. I think first things first, on our turn, we're almost always going to just draw a card with Avengers Mansion and see what we can do. All right. So let's play Futurist as well. So we're going to look at the top 3 cards. So we want the arc reactor, obviously. The other 2 go into the bin. We have a lot of cards that we want to play and not enough cards to play them with. So I think regardless, we're getting out the arc reactor. We need to get down. The tack team could be good. I think it's got to be the gauntlets, though. All right. So let's get rid of the haymaker and the tack team to get my first set of powered gauntlets down. And then we're going to switch to the Iron Man side. I'm going to exhaust a set of rocket boots and discard a... Ooh. What's better here? All right, let's walk that back. No, I think we're not going to use the rocket boots. We're not going to go aerial. So I'm going to use the powered gauntlets to do 1 damage to the Hydra Mercenary. And then I'm going to use the Iron Man ability to do 1 more damage to the Hydra Mercenary. Then I'm going to use the arc reactor to re-ready Iron Man and attack again, killing the Hydra Mercenary. So now the Hydra Mercenary goes into the discard, and I'm going to play 2 chase downs, which enables me to remove 2 threat from a scheme. So I'm going to get rid of ground control, because that's the one that I have to get rid of first. And then I'm going to get rid of 2 off of the main scheme. So that's not terrible. Yep, so these both go into the bin. In this form, my hand size is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not the best, but not the worst. We're going to re-ready everything, including Iron Man himself. So I'm going to go up to 5 cards. So my new hand is the Mark V Armor, Power of Aggression, Relentless Assault, the Helicarrier, which I held, and the Repulsor Blast. You make things a little neater. Okay, so that's my end of my player phase. Villain phase, the main scheme threatens. So now that's up to 2. I haven't done any damage to him. I am in my hero form, so he's going to attack me. Let's see how much damage it is. So no additional damage, so thank goodness for small mercies. So I go down to 8. And then villain card. Here's the first one. He schemes. So let's see what the boost card is. Whoo! So he schemes for 3. So this goes up to 5. If this hits 7, we lose. So that's not great. And now we get a second one because of the breaking and taken. Place 4 threat on each side scheme. Okay, so now this side scheme has 4 more on it. Radical. Woo! Okay. So that was something. So we got a lot to do this turn. So it's back to me. We're going to use Avengers Mansion. Draw a card. We got another Power of Aggression. So we are going to use a Power of Aggression. Oh, it's only for minions. That's not good at all. Well, I can at least give myself the aerial trait. And then I'm going to use the Powered Gauntlet to do 2 damage to Rhino. So at least we're going to get some damage on him finally. And then we need to thwart the main scheme. So that'll take 2 off of there. And I don't know why I made these like pretty little piles over here. I don't need piles. I need space. Because I want cards to be visible more than I want tokens to be visible. All right. So I thwarted the main scheme, which brings it down to 3. Oh, no, that's not the right thing. Yes, I have to declare if I'm going to defend before the modifier is flipped. All right. I'm going to re-ready Iron Man. And I'm going to thwart again because I just need to keep this managed. Really wish there was a minion for me to kill. Let's play the Mark V armor, which is going to give me an immediate... No, that's not what I want to do. Wow. Well, let's play Repulsor Blast and see what happens. So, it deals 1 damage, plus, let's see how many lightnings we flip over. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. So we got 3, so it's 2 for each additional, so that's 7 damage. So that puts us at 5, I think. Yeah. No. It puts us at 6. So that's not bad. We did lose our helmet, but it'll come back around. That's why the tower's so good. Every time I've played him, I keep like not doing the tower, and I feel like I probably should. And then unfortunately, we can't play anything else. We might get killed here, though. This is tough. And I already re-readied Tony. I can't get the armor down. Do I want to flip back and let him scheme and hope that I survive? I think maybe that's the ticket. All right, so we're gonna flip back. At the end, everything readies. Baller, go. And then I have 3. Need to get up to 6. 1, 2, 3. So now I have Nick Fury, Pepper Potts, Emergency, the Mark V armor, the Helicarrier, and the Power of Aggression. Tony readies. All right. Villain phase, he schemes. The scheme count is 2. That's not terrible. It could be much worse. And I'm going to have 2 encounter cards. Alter Ego, this card gains Surge. So Radioactive Man is now in play with me. A Force Response. Okay, so there's nothing that happens when he comes into play. And Tiger Shark is my other one. Woo! Masters of Evil, baby. Okay, so Radioactive Man is beefy and has a lot of hit points and makes me lose cards. And this guy, Tiger Shark, who's like a Vaporwave Street Shark, also has a lot of hit points. So things are gonna get spooky. How many cards are left? 2. Okay. So let's think about our turns. I definitely want to Futurist, so I'm going to set aside another encounter card for when the time comes. Here's the 2 cards. This is going to be bad, I think. I do not think things are going to go very well for us here. This guy's jacked. Alright. So there's my extra card with Futurist. So, alright. I have to take the Repulsor Blast because I need the damage. Because this guy's gonna like straight up kill me. So we're gonna flip over. We're gonna play Repulsor Blast for 1. Which is gonna be, gosh, can I? So let's flip. Target is gonna be Tiger Shark. All right, got some damage. All right, we did kill him, so that's exciting at least. So we did a total of 7 damage to Tiger Shark. So he's gone. Oh, I didn't do my Avengers Mansion. Let's do that now. I will really need to get the Mark V armor down. So I guess we're going to do that. So we're going to get rid of Pepper Potts, the Power of Aggression, and Helicarrier, so that we can get the Mark V armor down, which immediately gives me 6 more hit points. So we go from 8 to 14. I'm going to thwart the main scheme for 2. And then I'm going to use the arc reactor to re-ready him. And do 2 more off of this side scheme that's slowly killing me. And then I'm going to use a powered gauntlet to do 1 damage to Radioactive Man. The goggles, they do nothing. I think that's it. And right now my hand size is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to draw 4 cards. I have 2 emergencies in hand. Relentless Assault, Repulsor Blast, Power of Aggression, and Mockingbird comes into the hand. Everything re-readies. Okay. So at the beginning, I'm in hero phase, so he's going to attack me. And he's going to do 4 damage to me, which is fine, I guess. And then Radioactive Man is going to hit me. And it doesn't boost, so it's just the 1. So I go down to 9. But he does randomly get rid of a card from my hand. I should have gotten a dice for this. All right. Somebody pick a number. First person in chat to pick a number 1 through 6. I'll do it down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 3 is what I lose, so it's the emergency. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to add a threat, but I'll play an emergency to reduce that by 1, since I missed the threat at the beginning. And now I'm going to take a total of 2 encounter cards, which I'm sure will be just fine. Or 3 encounter cards, because I already have this other one. So here's the first one. I'm tough. So he gets the tough status card, luckily, which means he negates the next instance of damage. But luckily, I do have things that can easily do like 1 damage to get rid of that. Here's my normal card. Whirlwind is now engaged with me. Force to interrupt. When Whirlwind attacks you, also resolve his attack against each other hero. Wow. And then here's the extra one. Here's that charge card that we got last time. Things are getting spicy up here. Don't let me forget about this charge card. Yeah, I'll put it actually like on Rhino. There we go. Okay. Did I draw up at the end of my turn? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Because I used 1 card and I lost 1 card. Alright, so now it's back to me. We got a lot of stuff going on. So let's draw with Avengers Mansion. I did get the Mark 5 helmet, which that's a pretty big deal. Okay. I gotta have a think. So, before I do anything else, let's use the Powered Gauntlet to get rid of Tough off of Rhino. And then let's attack with 1 onto Radioactive Man with Tony. We're going to re-ready Tony. And then we're going to use the Power of Aggression to pay for a Relentless Assault to deal 5 damage to Radioactive Man, killing Radioactive Man. Then we're going to thwart on this side scheme for 2 with Tony's basic attack ability. Let's Repulsor Blast Whirlwind. So 3 damage, 5 damage. So 5 damage total onto Whirlwind. And then I'm going to flip back to Tony. I'm going to play Futurist. Oof. And I'm going to take the gauntlets. And then I'm going to play down the helmet. Actually, that doesn't even matter, does it? Yeah, I guess I'll just keep him. Yeah, I'm not able to use him this turn anyway. Okay. So, we're going to re-ready everything. I'm in Tony Stark mode. So, my max hand size is 6. So, I'm going to draw 4 more, which is a Supersonic Punch, which is one of my main damage dealing powers. On Avengers Mansion, another Relentless Assault, and a Tactical Team. Okay. So now, we are going to get the 1 on the main scheme. And then he is going to scheme versus me. And that's a 3. Uh-oh. It's not good. We may lose here. And then this guy schemes. And that's a good game. Because the scheme puts 3 more on and gets it to the 7 per player. And we lose. That was tense. Starting at the higher damage version of Rhino made it so that right out of the gate, I guess I probably should have just stayed and just eaten the more damage, right? But then the charge had the potential to kill me just in a different way. So that's tough. But yeah, that one was a lot quicker, huh? Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Well, what are questions that people have about the game, the deck that I was playing, stuff like that? You can hang out here for a couple minutes and answer some questions, because I'm going to go make myself some lunch probably in a minute here. Oh, you don't draw a boost card. Oh, well, that would have changed that. So that means we're still in it, because then he would have only schemed by 1. But I already picked up everything. Whoops. But yeah. So, let me double check the rules. I don't think anything can replace Netrunner. Scheme. See enemy schemes. Okay. But it's certainly a lot of fun. So I don't do a boost card. So technically I didn't lose there, which is now really frustrating. But that also means that that's why that was much harder than maybe it should have been. I thought that you draw a boost card for the minions as well. Alright, did I shuffle this? So I had that in my hand. Let's see if we can rebuild the board state. I'll just put that one back in there. So that was in my hand. 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 Oh, I might be able to rebuild it. So the last, let's see, the last card that I put into my trash was the Mockingbird, which means all of this is my deck. So I rebuilt the board state, so we're still in it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, but that also makes the game far less difficult when you're playing solo than I thought. Well, not far less, but it means that going back to your alter ego form doesn't mean that they're going to immediately scheme out. So the stage that I was at was I needed to do my encounter cards. When revealed alter ego, I was on alter ego. This card gains surge. When revealed, give Rhino a tough status card. Okay, he's got a tough status card. This card, if he already has one, it would gain surge. So now the extra one that I have to take, when revealed, each master of villain evil attacks. Okay. So he's going to attack me for 2. He would resolve against all other heroes, but it's just me. So I lose 2 hit points and go down to 7. Alright, so I'm still in this. Things are definitely getting a little out of hand. This would have been at 6. Okay. So let's think about our turn, right? We definitely need to do some scheming. I do have a science to get rid of. So first things first, let's do the Avengers Mansion and get an extra card. Oh, chase them down into the hand. So that's very good. So let's do Futurist. So here's the 3 cards. The Hulk, Repulsor Blast, and a Tactical Team. I think we got to take the Hulk. This is the first time we've seen him go through where we've actually been able to do something with him. So first things first, do we have... So first things first, let's get rid of... I have so many cards I want to play and I can't possibly play them all, and it's a nightmare. We're going to get rid of Attack Team and the Powered Gauntlet to play Relentless Assault. Oh no, it's got to be at least 1 fist, doesn't it? But I need the helmet to reduce threat. Because it doesn't get overkill unless I use... Alright, so we're going to do this a little differently. We're going to make ourselves aerial by getting rid of the Avengers Mansion and using the Rocket Boots. The Powered Gauntlets, I'm going to use them to do 2 damage to Whirlwind. When I do 2 damage to Whirlwind, I'm going to play 0 to get rid of stuff off of a scheme. So this is going to go down to 4 threat. Which, I'm sorry, I haven't been as good at policing that as I should have. Which I would have had to have flipped, which I would have done after Futurist. I'm going to get rid of the Relentless Assault to put down the Mark V helmet. Since I do have aerial, I can remove 1 off of a side scheme and 1 off of a main scheme. So that means that that's now 3. Alright, let's thwart and get rid of this, finally. We're going to use the arc reactor to re-ready Tony. And then we're going to thwart again off of the main scheme. I can do 8 damage to him right now if I play a supersonic punch, but it'll just get ignored. So I think what we've got to do instead, this is we actually have to get rid of the Hulk and the Attack Team again, so I can get another Powered Gauntlet and use the Powered Gauntlet to get rid of this Tough. And then that leaves me with 1 card in hand that I can't play. Everything re-readies. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 hand size. So 6 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have War Machine, Repulsor Blast, Energy, Haymaker, Stark Tower finally. Which I don't need, so now it's going into fuel my engine. Okay, so now he puts 1 on the main scheme. He's going to wail on me, and I'm going to potentially die, but a different way. So let's see what the boost card is. So that's 7. So that's enough to kill me unless I do something about it. So I guess I'm going to defend. So I only lose 6. We're on the razor's edge here with Tony. And now we get our actual villain card. When revealed, put your set aside nonsense into play. Alright, so Whiplash comes into joins the battle against me, and all of my personal stuff goes into the discard pile, ready to be cycled in. Actually, let me double check something. Obligation, or let me just double check that. Shadow of the Past, Treachery. I don't remember if it goes into the deck or if it goes into the discard. No, I'm Iron Man. I switched to being Iron Man. Okay. So this says, shuffle the rest of your set-aside Nemeside cards into the encounter deck. Okay, so these go into here. Okay. So we shuffle all of Whiplash's stuff into here. I'm not feeling great. We're hurting real bad, and we haven't even gotten onto stage 2 of Rhino yet. So we may still lose here, but we did certainly delay the inevitable somewhat. Alright. So now it's back to us. And I've definitely got to deal with Whiplash, but if I hit him, I'm going to die. So that's not great. Let's go ahead and use the Avengers Mansion to draw up a card. Right, and I had to defend, so I can't even recover. I can flip, so he'll scheme instead. I think I got to try to get Rhodey out. So I'm going to use a Genius and an Energy to get Rhodey out. just so Rhodey can tank some shit. We're going to have Rhodey attack Whiplash, which means he takes another one because Whiplash has Retaliate. Do I have the ability to make myself aerial? I'm going to get rid of Stark Tower to make myself aerial using the Repulsor Boots. I'm going to do 2 damage and 2 damage here. I can't like play any of these cards. I'm going to remove one from the scheme. I'm going to ready Iron Man. Right, I can ready him. I'll thwart again over here just to, because I'm going to need to be in Iron Man, not Iron Man side to not die so that I can... Actually, no. When I ready him, I'll leave the threat. I'll flip to Tony's side. Then I'll use the basic action on that side to go up to 4 health. So, like, order of operations in this game is super important because since a lot of the actions don't tap, knowing what stage of your turn to flip and when to use your re-readies is, like, a huge component of this. I might as well, I'm going to have to take an encounter card anyway when I draw up. So I might as well also use Futurists to see 3 cards and pick the best one from my hand. Do a little card filtering. And I'll just have to deal with him scheming and hope that we make it out. But we're scrapping over here, right? I think we could still do this. It's just going to be very tough. All right, so we're going to look at 3. That's not well shuffled. That was like 3 of the cards that were right at the top of the discard. So let's shuffle that. Because that was literally the top 3 cards of my discard. All right. 1, 2, 3. I think we want the Repulsor Blast. Other 2 will go into the bin. Everything's going to re-ready. We're at the Tony side, so we only get 1 new card. Everything readies, including Rhodey, who's going to valiantly help me try to put shit down next turn. Alright. So on the villain side, 1 goes on here. And then he schemes for no boost, so it's just 1. So this becomes a 3. Which I didn't adjust it from before. I got to get better. I forget the triggers. When Steve was here, him taking his turn gave me time to like bookkeep things a little better. Whiplash is also going to scheme, so we're at 5. Highway to the danger zone. All right, here's my first one. Electric Whip Attack. Choose either to deal 1 damage to your hero for each upgrade you control, or choose and discard an upgrade you control. So we're going to get rid of 1 Repulsor Boosts, which immediately costs me 1 HP. But otherwise he would just like rip me in half. Then here's my other one, Business Problems. I can either exhaust Tony to remove business problems from the same... Okay, so we're going to remove this from the game by exhausting Tony. Alright, so not bad. Alright. So over here, let's do Futurist, which is not a tap action. Tack Team. Repulsor Blast. Genius. Let's get the Repulsor Blast, and then we're going to Avengers Mansion to draw an energy. Alright. Rhodey is going to attack Whiplash and kill him, and also kill himself at the same time. We're going to flip and ready Tony Stark with the arc reactor. We're going to make ourselves aerial with Stark Tower using the repulsor boots. Before anything weird happens, we're going to remove one threat off of the main scheme with the Mark V helmet. We're going to thwart. And then we're going to use, since I'm aerial, we're going to use one gauntlet to bring him down to 0. So we are finally off of version 2. Toughness. When revealed, stun each hero. So that means the next attack that I would play doesn't do anything. Because I'm stunned. So I'll use a powered gauntlet, which is an attack, which will get rid of the stunned. So it's wasted. And how much hit points does he have? So he has 16 per person. So he is at 16. I think I might be able to do this if I can get lucky. So I am aerial. So first things first, let's play a supersonic punch with my energy card. It does 8 damage if I'm aerial, which I am. I think I could do this. And that tough's gone because I used the gauntlet on it. And now we're going to get rid of Relentless Assault to play Repulsor Blast. We're going to go see how many extra we do. So 3, 5, 5 damage. Uh-oh, I think we're going to get it. So he's at 3 hit points. And then we will use these 2 Repulsor Blasts to play a Haymaker to do 3 damage, and we'll kill him. We won. We got there. It was close this game, though. Tony's good, man. Yeah, definitely very good. So let's fish out all of his bad guy stuff. Yeah, so I think Rhino can get tough if you do the harder versions of him. But I definitely think I've played now against Claw. And, like, the ratcheting up. You know, Rhino's a very direct, very streamlined deck. A lot of hitting you really hard. Single threats coming out. I think it's definitely designed to teach you the game and to be challenging to people who might be unfamiliar with it. So doing it at this higher level, I think, makes it a moderate challenge for an experienced player. But I think next stream, if I do solo, I'll move on to Ultron, and we're probably going to see me get my butt kicked because this game definitely can be hard. It's just, for my first solo play, I wanted to do Rhino. Oh yeah, you're right. Well, no, then I would have done the 2 Repulsor Blasts instead. One to remove the tough, and then the other to kill him. So we're probably still good. But yeah. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to share, like and subscribe. Get on the channel on YouTube or on Twitch. There's a link there if you want to support the channel. I've been getting support from the Netrunner community for some time, but if you want to see more streams and more deck tech stuff, be sure to subscribe, leave comments, let me know what you want to see, and until I see you all next time. Oh yeah, Mojo Flow actually. So it's really interesting. So Tony has 15 cards that are just for him, and they're the red with this yellow line through it. So the deck building is really interesting because when you play a hero, it's just these are 15 cards, and the quantity of these can't be changed. So for example, Black Panther has a bunch of upgrades for the suit, and then he has 5 copies of this card, Wakanda Forever, which trigger them all simultaneously, instead of being like Iron Man, where they all have little actions that you can take in whatever order you want. Black Panther is okay, I put all these people down, and I have all my allies, because I'm the king, and I have all these things on my suit, and now I pop off and fire everything at once, and it's like a huge wave of everything happening at one time. So you have these 15 cards, and they've designed those little packs with, this is a really powerful card that's really game-breaking in its moment, so you get one of them, right? So you have to cycle through and find it. Here's something that's integral to your strategy. You might have 2 or 3, or maybe in the case of Black Panther, you might have 5 of them, right? And then you decide what type of hero you are. Are you an aggression hero, a defensive hero, I think it's called protection. It's aggression, protection, justice, or leadership. Right? And then based on that, you then get access to what is your true faction, like you would see in Conquest or Netrunner. And then those cards, anybody who is deciding to play their hero as that gets to add as many of those as they want, and then as many as of the neutrals that they want. So the idea being, the next pack that's going to come out is going to be Captain America. And he's going to have his 15 cards, plus 2 cards or 3 cards for each of the 4 colors, each of the 4 factions that are kind of themed towards him, that then add onto the pool for any hero to use, but you don't have to have them. You can always just play with whatever you have and then swap out the different factions to create more replayability. Does that make sense? So I'm going to just set this deck aside because I definitely really like that one. But yeah, I don't know. This is good. I like this a lot. I like Tony a lot. I also really like She-Hulk. So She-Hulk has a one-of card called Gamma Slam, which is one of her 15 cards. And she's the only character that has 15 base hit points, right? So she has a ton of health. And then her thing is, when you play Gamma Slam, somebody takes damage, or one target takes damage equal to how many health you're missing up to a total of 15, because there are things that people could potentially put on you to increase your total, and they capped the amount of damage it can do at what her base total is. Yeah, so there's a lot of power there in the different decks. So I'm going to keep playing and keep practicing and see what I like. Next time I do one of these streams, either by myself or with somebody else, I'm going to try to do Ultron. So we'll see how that shakes out. And I will see you all next time. And I hope people check out the game and give it a spin.